Hi, I'm Sarah from the upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us at London Film Festival. Maybe you can begin with a brief introduction to Santosh for people who don't know anything about it. What can they expect?
It's a film set in northern India about a young woman whose husband dies, a young housewife, and he's a policeman. As is a real government scheme in India, when your husband dies, in the police, you're able to inherit his job. So it's a story of this woman who goes from being a housewife to a widow to a policewoman in a pretty corrupt force. She gets thrown into an investigation of a young lower caste girl who's murdered and is taken under the wing of a very charismatic female inspector called Inspector Sharma, and it's about the relationship between the two of them through this case.
And so it's your feature film debut. Why was this the right story to tell for your first feature film?
It was too big a story to tell for a first feature film, actually. It's quite an ambitious first feature. It just happened that the story sort of came about organically. I was actually working as a documentary maker, which is what my training is, and looking to make a film about violence against women, working with NGOs, trying to make a documentary but not finding the right way in. And then after this horrible gang rape case in Delhi in 2012, a photo came out of that, which was about a very angry crowd in Delhi. And there was a police officer in front of them, female police officer, and she had a very interesting expression on her face. And I just got really hooked on her, and I just thought, oh, that's interesting. So she has the power, but she doesn't have the power. She's them, but she's not them. She feels their pain, but yet she maybe doesn't. So I was just intrigued. I had so many questions about her, and I thought that's through whom I tell the story and dissect the violence in a more internal way.
Like you say, an ambitious story to tell for your first film. What were some of the challenges along the way? And on the flip side, what was your favourite moment of making the film?
I mean, challenges were, one, I'm a single mum. I had to figure out what to do with my daughter for a very long time, going abroad, filming, being in India many, many times to research, and then 4 months away for prep and shooting in India over summer, 40 degrees plus, shooting in live locations where there's just full real markets, dealing with all the people, looks to camera, all the, just general craziness. And it's a long shoot. There were crowd scenes, there were stunts. I mean, that's a very steep learning curve for a first film. Yeah.
And what do you ultimately hope people take away from watching your film? I mean, I guess it's sort of a way in to explore all these other issues that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, I come in with an intent about what I want to investigate, the questions that I'm, to explore. I don't make films with a message to tell anybody. It's not the type of filmmaking I respond to. I just want the audience to respond emotionally to this film, which I hope they will do. They will feel their own, they will have their own questions when they come out.
What does it mean to you to have the film here at London Film Festival? And particularly, how can a festival like this be a great platform to see cinema from all over the world, bring it to an international audience?
I mean, it's so important for me because we've had a really great run with this film. We premiered it in Cannes with the UK Oscar entry for Best, International Film. And it's a film set in India, all in Hindi, but it's a British film. So I think that's really, really important. We're financed out of Britain. I was born and bred here. I live here. And I think that what's important for me is to have this film come home, after playing lots of different places in America and here. But to be having my premiere here is really important. For a film, for this British film to have its distribution in the UK as well. Those things are just, very important.
See, there's always talk about representation, who gets the budgets to make films, which films then get shown at film festivals like this. I think that's 44% of female non-binary filmmakers. Do you feel like there's been a lot of progress made on that front? Still feel like there's a long way to go to have kind of parity, or at least have a fair representation of people telling stories on screen?
I think we're getting there. And I think, for example, out of India, there have been some really strong films this year by women, about women, and everyone's wanted to talk about that. But at the same time, I also respond that, they're good films, and that's why they're there.
100%. Thank you so much for sharing all that with me. Huge congratulations on the film. I mean, you've enjoyed presenting it here in London. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.